Well, hello everyone, and today I'm going to talk about effectively using tools. Hi, my name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and I'm a chiropractor. I actually got started in network marketing a long time ago. I started using network marketing products for my family. I started using network marketing products in my practice, and a lot of it really is that I found that there was a higher quality of product in the industry, at least for the most part. And it's also a great way of sharing new products that have a story to be told when you're trying to share the products. And the reason that the products are higher quality in a lot of cases is simply because if you're going to share it with family and friends, you don't want to share products that really are of lesser quality. You want to share products that are high quality. So again, my name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and I'm sharing here on the Sisel World Team training call, and direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing, even if you want to call it a pyramid, because it's shaped like a pyramid, but pyramid schemes are something that's illegal. It's where you sell something that people don't need, and sometimes it doesn't even exist. But I think that it's a great way to start your own business, and you can really build things. And so today we want to talk about tools. And what I want to say is that recruiting is the life force of this industry. And no matter how committed you are to the products, there's a limit on how many people that you can reach. Even if you're the greatest salesperson on the planet, there's a limit to the number of hours that you can work. And so if you want to live a life that most people just dream about, you need to learn how to recruit. And recruiting lifts the ceiling off your income. And then what you want to do is you want to find and train other people to do the exact same thing. Teach them about recruiting. And so sharing tools is really, really important. Residual income gives network marketing that edge. It's kind of like being a movie star. You get in a movie, and every time that movie plays, you get paid a royalty. It's like writing a book, and every time somebody buys that book, you get paid a royalty. It's like writing a song, and every time somebody downloads that song, you earn money. And so once you get the groundwork done, it's a great way that you can make some extra money. And really, if you do it right, you can make enough extra money that the extra money actually becomes your primary money. So the first thing that I want to say about the whole industry, about building, is that, what's the number one reason that people start network marketing? And the answer is simply this. They start the business because somebody asked them, hey, do you want to take a look at this? Would you give me your opinion? And it's not surprising because our business is word of mouth. We don't have media campaigns trumpeting the opportunity. We don't advertise in the newspapers, anything like that. If you don't tell somebody, how are they going to know? And so what's the number one reason that people don't start network marketing? And the answer to that is simply the same, because nobody asked them. Nobody said, hey, take a look at this. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about recruiting principles that, there's two ways to recruit. And the first way, I don't like it. I call it ambushing technique. And some people call it, their technique. I don't know. But it's tough on your suspects. And it's tough on you because, surprise, the rejection rate is high. And, it's because you come across as trying to help yourself by convincing others to jump in business with you. And, well, I can tell you horror stories about that. And that's why I loved the products when I first got into my clinic, but I didn't get into the business because, man, I'll tell you what, my first story, this guy got me signed up in Amway, and he said, I'll help you. The box arrived with $200 and some worth of soap and this and that and toothpaste and all this different stuff. And the guy never showed back up. He wouldn't return my phone calls. I kept that box of Amway products stored away just to remind me why I would never do that again. So I decided that's not how I want to do it. The second way is to decide before you start calling on people, who are you looking for? Why might this person be interested in your opportunity? And you're looking for like somebody to connect with. When I go out hunting, if I'm going elk hunting, I'm looking for elk. I'm not going to get distracted by ducks. If I'm going pheasant hunting, I'm not going to get distracted by rabbits. And so when you get into the business, you want to remember that. Who are you looking for? And then when you approach people, your prospects will genuinely see that you have something to offer them. And you want to let them know that, hey, you know, I have something that I'd like you to take a look at. And so let's get started with the slide presentation here. So what are tools really? And really, I'm going to say this, in order to duplicate and be duplicatable, you need to learn how to use tools. What are the tools that you can use? And I'm just going to say this, anything that edifies what you've already said. The tool becomes the expert. It's not you. So why not just be the expert? Well, in 2007, I was involved in a horrible motorcycle wreck. Prior to that, I had graduated top of my class in high school. I went on to mechanical engineering on a scholarship. I graduated from chiropractic college. I received a lot of awards, and I was considered to be an expert. I testified as an expert witness in motor vehicle accidents on the victim's behalf. I even received an award for being one of the top chiropractors in America in 2004. I was managing a huge practice. And, you know, I thought I was a big deal. I had a big head. I had all that knowledge. After all, look at all the things I've already done. I knew I could do it better than anybody else before me. Boy, was I wrong. And that really set myself up for failure, because I found out really quickly that you can't be the expert of everything. You really can't be the expert of everything, and you need to learn that. So you want to team up with people who can help you and you can help them. And in order to do that, you need to figure out first, what's your strengths? What's your weaknesses, right? And take an online quiz and find out what kind of personality type are you. You know, and I'll just tell you a little bit about me. I like to use my own stories because I can tell you I've done some things right, I've done some things wrong. But based on the knowledge of science and math that I have and my background as a doctor for 30 years, I thought, well, I'm a healer and I'm a thinker personality. You know, I think about everything. I come up with answers for people's problems, and I really do care about people. And so I'm a thinker healer. And my friends thought that too. But after I took the personality profile, I was really surprised to find out that my personality was actually closer to that of just the opposite. I'm a closer dreamer, right? And really, what does that mean? There's 4 personality types: the closer, the dreamer, the thinker, the healer. And I still like coming up with all the answers. You know, I'm a thinker, but I really do get bored with simple tasks, and I do dream bigger things. And so, you know, that dreamer personality, I see that. And then when I come up with an answer, you know, I want people to accept my answer. I'm a doctor. I've got this. I've thought about it, you know, and I'm going to close you on your idea and on my idea. And really, what I'm going to tell you is that when you take a look at my personality profile it's kind of a square, because you have a little bit of all 4 personalities, but mine's kind of a square, and a little bit more strength on the closer dreamer, but really in all areas. And so when I build my business, I need to find people that are strong in all 4 areas that are going to complement what I'm doing. And whatever your personality type is, find the people that are stronger in the areas you're weak. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a perfect blend. You're going to meld together If you're playing pinochle, if you're a pinochle player, you're going to meld together because everything fits together. If you can't find an online personality profile test, let me know and I'll send you one. My email address is docfizz@me.com, DOCFIZZ at me.com, DOCFIZZ@me.com, and I'll shoot you over what I found. But I'm constantly on the look for somebody that might be great in business. And so I'm just going to kind of give you a story here. You know, if I'm out for lunch today and I find a waitress who's extremely friendly, she just seems to get to know people. She's one of those personality types. I just think, man, I'd really love to introduce her to Sisel. You know, she'd be great at this business. But how do you do that? I don't want to cram it down her throat. She's busy working. I don't want to take her away from what's making her money and try and pull her away. I've seen people do that. And I'll tell you what, it's irritating for them. It's irritating for you. It's irritating for the other people. And it doesn't have a high success rate. So I don't prospect her on the spot. I don't care for it when people do it to me, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel uncomfortable when I'm with you and I see you doing it. Why would I do it to her? So you've met that waitress, right? And you think she'd be a great fit. You know, waitresses, you know, they don't make that much money really. They get paid, you know, maybe minimum wage, maybe a little bit better, but they're great at talking to people. They know how to fill their needs, right? I mean, they're going to ask you, what do you want to eat? Do you want to have, you know, fries with that? And they know how to find what you need. And they probably have some free time because most waitresses and waiters, they don't work 24/7, right? They have some free time, maybe some free days. And so this might be a perfect fit for them. But the other thing is that they also know that they get paid a base and they make most of their money on bonuses, what they call tips, right? They do a good job, they're going to get a bigger tip. And so they might be a perfect person for your business. So you've been presented with a situation. What do you do? And there really is no wrong answer. Any tool is going to work. You can't give the wrong tool to the right person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You've heard that before, right? So you might just take a napkin and you write something on there, hey, go check out this video. You might say, hey, go check this out. You might say, have you ever thought about using your talents in another way? And there's all sorts of questions that you can ask people. So let me give you another example. You know, you go out car shopping and you meet this car salesman, right? I'll go out shopping for cars when I don't even need a car. But, you know, what are the personalities of a car salesman? Why would I talk about a car salesman? Why would he or she be a great fit in what we're doing? Well, they sell things, right? They know how to sell things. And what would be some of the downfalls? Well, the downfall is that you've got a really good car salesman. I've got some friends who sell cars, and man, I mean, you hear them saying they could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Is that necessarily a good thing? I don't know. I think that it's not really a good thing because it just means that those people can sell things to other people that they don't necessarily need, and I don't like that. I don't like that. But they're trainable. If they're trainable, you know, then they might be a good fit. And so, you know, you take a look and be prepared all the time because you never know when you're going to find that right person. But when you're talking to that car salesman, you know, again, there's no wrong answer, but what do you share? It might be a business card. It might not be anything because you know what? There's always a wrong time for the right person. And you got to remember that. So if you heavy prospect that person, you might chase them away. So every time you're talking about your business, when you're talking about something, you should be at least thinking about a tool in your head, and in your mind, you should be pointing at that tool. Let the tool do the work because the tool is duplicatable. You're not, right? And the tool now becomes the expert. And so I'm going to share a couple things here again in my clinic, right? I've been in practice. I've been a chiropractor for 30 years, and I've always tried to identify areas where I could improve what I'm doing. You know, common questions would pop up, problems would pop up, areas of concern would pop up, And so I would try and come up with answers, right, so that I had an answer so it's easy to fix the next time. So in this particular instance, people would want to know, does my insurance cover what you're doing? And in Fargo, in North Dakota, we had just a couple of insurance companies that seemed to cover a majority of the patients, 70, 80, 90%, I don't remember. But they covered a pretty good percentage of what we're doing. And so after a while, after a couple of years of being in practice, I had a really good idea of what the insurance company was going to pay. But I could sit here and tell you till I was blue in the face what your insurance company was going to pay, and you still had those doubts, right? You were still uncertain. The patient was still uncertain. So what I did is I made a copy of the insurance payment description from another patient. I blacked out all the information, and I started using it as a tool, but I went one step further, right? I took and I laminated that explanation of benefits. I laminated what the insurance company would typically pay. And so by placing it in plastic, it kind of made it official. In the patient's eye, they would say to me, they'd say, yeah, but does that really pay? And all I had to say is I'd tap on the piece of plastic and I'd say, it's in plastic, right? And somehow that made it more official, it made it more believable, and the plastic laminate made everything okay, right? You see how I turned that into a tool, and I perfected the tool, right? And so that's what I'm saying, is that in our business, you're going to find things that's going to pop up in your life. You're going to find things that people are going to ask you certain questions that they might not ask me. You're going to find certain things that people are going to come up with, problems they're going to come up with that I may not have, right? Because we have a certain different level of credibility, right? I'm a doctor. Maybe you're not. You know, I'm not a very good salesman. Maybe you are. Females, they have, they're able to talk to people better than males are, and I'll share a couple stories on that as well. But really, come up with what's happening in your life. Make a list of it, and then come up with a system that works for you. Have your system, right? And your system's not going to be the same as mine. If you're going to have problems with your system, get a hold of me. I'll help you out. I'll help you come up with a system. I'll help you come up with answers. Again, my email, docfizz@me.com, docfizz@me.com, and I'll help you out with that. But why do you need to use a tool? Or when do you need to use a tool? I'm going to tell you every single time. I mean, even if you're an expert on products and you're an expert on the business and you've made a gazillion dollars in this business, you need to use tools. And what if I don't have anything? People say, well, what if I don't have anything with me? You know, all I need is a piece of paper. Heck, I don't even need that. Give me a stick and some sand. I'll draw it out in the sand. And I've done it. I mean, you're laughing, but I've done it. But what you want to do is you just want to give something that people can go to, a video, a website, things like that. Give them a recording. You know, sometimes I'll just say, hey, you know, last Saturday night, for example, it was a noisy restaurant, and she was asking me for information. And I simply said, hey, just give me your mobile device. I'm going to put a website in there, a YouTube video. I want you to go take a look at this and see what you think. That's what I did, right? So now I've got that, and then I sent an email from her phone to me, so I had her information, right? And I told her what I was doing, right? Because the tool by itself, if I just gave her the video, is that going to be effective? Absolutely not, because you need their information. And, you know, just kind of another story about myself, right? In 2000, 2007, 2008, I bought a bunch of videos. This is back in the days when Kurt had the big head, and I got into network marketing, and I thought, well, I'm just going to buy a bunch of these DVDs, and I'm going to mail them out to a whole list of people that I knew, people that I didn't know. I went on the computer, and I downloaded all the state associations. I had a list of all the chiropractors that I could find, and I literally just sent out hundreds of DVDs to these people. No information, no letter of introduction, just a DVD sealed up with a mailing label on it and mailed out. Literally hundreds of these, maybe thousands. And I thought, holy cow, Kurt's going to be wealthy. I was handing out tools like everybody said. They had my name on it. They had the info. After all, you know, just a couple years before that, I was selected as one of America's top chiropractors, right? You're going to be able to find that. I mean, my God, right? I'm Dr. Kurt Bisnick. So out of hundreds of DVDs that I handed out, you know what I got back? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Not a single customer, not a single distributor. You know why? I didn't have their information. I had no way of following up with them. There's probably a few that signed up, but not with me, right? And I realized that nobody's going to call me back just because I sent them a DVD. That's like going out to the bar at night and just walking around and handing out my business card to a bunch of young ladies and hoping that somebody's going to call me back, that one of those girls is going to call me back and say, hey, you want to go on a date? It just ain't happening. You know, it's like these match.com type sites. You put your information there. If you don't have a good story and if you don't follow up with people who go look at your profile, it ain't happening, guys. It ain't happening. I'm telling you. So a lot of times I don't have a business card with me. So what do? You know, and maybe I'm stupid. Some people say that I'm not, but it kind of works for me. Again, it's my personality. And I'll just tell people, hey, look, you know, I've been into business. I've been in business my entire adult life. I've never had a job, right? Since I graduated from high school, I've never had a job working for somebody else. And what I found is that for me, I'll hand up my card, and a lot of times that gets filed in file 13. People throw it away. And so what I like to do is I like to get your information because guess what? I'm actually going to call you back. And I tell people, I say, look, I'm a doctor. I'm busy. Last year I did $2 million in business working from home, doing what I do. I'm not going to waste your time. I promise I won't waste your time. In fact, I'll make this promise to you. If I call you back, and I don't get an answer, I'm going to leave one message. Chances are I'll never call you back again. I just don't have time to do that. I don't have time to chase people. And I found when I chase people, they run faster, right? And so you know what? If you give me your information, I promise you I'm not gonna harass you. You'll probably hear from me once. If you don't return my call, I'll simply take it as, hey, you were just trying to get rid of me from the get-go. I accept that. I have no problem with it. And I get people's information simply like that. They'll give it to me a lot of times. And if they don't, you know what? They just saved me some time. And I tell them that. I say, thank you. Thanks for saving me the time. And so maybe that's what you need. But you got to look at your personality and you got to see what it is. But if I'm following up with somebody that I've just met, I don't always in fact, I never prospect them immediately because I found that it comes off too salesy, right? And do you like to be sold? Like if you're going out to buy a diamond ring for your girlfriend and you go to the jewelry store and you're looking at diamonds and you know you're just not quite sure and the gal behind the counter says, hey, you know, I'm going to go get so-and-so, right? I just go, oh, man, they're getting the closer. I'm going to be buying a diamond now, that's for sure, because they're going to close me on the diamond. It ain't going to be the cheap one, right? So I don't do that to people either. So let's talk about that car salesman, right? You know, let's just say his name's Bob. Hey, Bob, you know, and I'll call him up maybe a week or two afterwards. I'll say, hey, Bob, you know, I was in the other day and I was test driving those new Corvettes. I go through a car about every year and a half, 2 years. I just wear them out with my business. And I don't, you know, you probably don't remember me, but I remember you. And, you know, I just want to throw something by you. First, let me ask you, is this a good time to talk? Right? Always try and be polite and take notice of their time as well, because they're busy too. But just say something like, you know, Bob, one of the things that I noticed about you is that I noticed that you're really good at talking to people. You're really good at finding out about them. It's something that it's a talent that I noticed, right? And I'll tell you what, if you're listening to this recording, the one thing that you got to get to know is that a lot of times people don't have other people patting them on the back. You can do a great job at work and nobody says anything. And you go home thinking, wow, why did I just spend my day there? And they get home and the spouse doesn't say, hey, I noticed you got your haircut. It looks awesome. You know, I like that new color, things like that. And I always try and point that things out. I was just in the post office the other day, and I go to a little rural post office rather than going to the one in town. It's a little bit further drive for me, but I like it because I don't have to stand in the line, and I get to talk to the same two ladies every single time. And I pointed out, I said, hey, I like your haircut. I like the new color that you have. It really brings out the highlights in your hair. And you should just see, she just beams from ear to ear. It's like somebody put a banana sideways in her mouth. And you know, people like that. But a lot of times people don't get it. And so if you point out something, and be genuine, don't make up anything, right? When you're test driving that car, as soon as you get out of the car, write a little note on their business card, something that they seemed to talk about enough. And you might have to get good at pulling that out of them. Get that information, right? This is a people business. This isn't a sales business. This is a people business. And that's what you got to get to understand, is that you are in the people business. This is psychology, right? And so I'm going to say, hey, Bob, as I'm building my business, I try and find people who are talented in that area that you seem to be talented in. And, you know, I could really use somebody like you on my team. You know, are you open to new ideas? If I sent you a short video, would you just simply give me your opinion? That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to sign you up for anything. I'm not trying to sell you anything, right? For God's sakes. And you notice I don't even mention the name of the product or the company. I try and avoid that unless they really demand on it, because I don't want them to go and Google it. I want them to look at the tool that I send them, because I'm going to pick the first impression. You can't go back and make a first impression a second time. You just can't, right? So here's what we're doing is we're fishing. We're throwing the bait out there. We're seeing if he's even open, right? Don't sell him. Don't sell her. Don't try and sign them up, right? And if I'm consulting with you and you tell me that, oh, no one's interested, no one wants to, you know, buy the product, nobody seems to be interested, you know what that tells me? Is that tells me that you're trying to enroll them. You're trying to enroll them before they're ready to be closed. And you haven't built any rapport with them at all, right? You got to start asking questions, you know, find out about them. You know, do you ever feel like you're in a dead-end career? Do you ever wonder if there's a way to prevent aging? Do you feel like your talents are just being wasted at what you're doing? Do you know anyone who might be looking at a way of making an extra $1,000? I'm looking for people like that. Do you ever thought about living forever? You know, do you remember when we were kids, if you're talking to one of your old buddies from high school and you bring up something, you say, you remember, you know, we talked about how when we got to be this age, we'd be traveling around the world. We'd be taking these awesome vacations. We wouldn't be working till we were gray and wrinkled like everybody else seemed to be. You know, Bob, whatever happened to that? Whatever happened, right? Do you ever dream of taking one of those really nice vacations, right, where you can just lay back and not have to worry about things? You can put your cell phone away, right? When was the last time you really felt like you accomplished what you set out to do? And get people thinking. It's important. You want to get them thinking, right? And there's all sorts of tools you can use. You can use printable material. You can go to our blog. You can download printable material like the Age Pill brochure. You can use samples. I'll hand out samples of products to people, websites, presentations. You can do webinars, recordings. I mean, this is going to be a recording that you can use. You can use conference calls, and you can use YouTube videos, all these different things. These are tools that you can share. And you want to have a few of them in your back pocket, right? And don't just have one, because it might not fit the situation. So when do you close people? People say to me all the time, well, Kurt, when do you close people? I close people when they're good and ready to be closed. That's when I close them. Sometimes it takes a while. My buddy, Dr. Kim, man, it was 5 years. But he's a good one, right? He's a good one. and it took 5 years to close them. Half the time, people close themselves. They say, hey, how do I get it? Where do I get that? How do I find out more? They're ready to be closed by the time I'm ready to close them. And sometimes I'll let them sit on the fence just for a little bit. I might say something, no, I've decided this isn't for you. I've decided, and people hate that when you do the takeaway, especially guys. They hate it when you do the takeaway from them. But find them, nurture them a little bit until they're ready to be closed. And how do you know when they're ready to be closed? You ever notice that if you get together with somebody and they have their arms closed, you cross your arms. If they shift position from leg to leg, you start to do the same thing. Well, do that with people, and you can do that over the phone. You don't have to be face to face. You can kind of tell what position they're in just by the tone of their voice and different things like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to try and get them to move with you. Get them so that when you shift your position in your chair, you hear them shift the position in their chair. When you see that, when you hear them smiling, you smile, right? And that's when they're ready to be closed because you've built rapport, right? Hey, Bob, I noticed that you and I are on the same wavelength. We're on the same page. I'd really love to have you take a look at something. If I could help you and at the same time help me do what I'm doing, it'd be a win-win situation, wouldn't it? Right? And explain that to them. Be honest with them. Don't try and beat around the bush. Don't tell them, oh, it's a business, right? Show them that you're doing some things. And so that's really it, is that use the tools that you like. Don't just have one tool. Don't just have your favorite tool. Don't just have one thing. You never know when the opportunity is going to rise. You might be on an elevator. You might be in the back of a taxi, sharing a taxi ride with somebody. You might be on a subway. You might be on an airplane. You might be sitting in an airport, right? I mean, I'll tell you what, it's happened to me over and over and over again. I'll be sitting on the phone, sharing information like what we're doing right now, and just talking to myself because here I am. I'm just doing a conference call. If I'm in a restaurant or in an airport, people see me talking to myself. And I get off the call and they say, who are you talking to? I tell them, I'm doing a training call. And they say, I'm really interested in what you're doing. Could you give me some information? Right? And that'll happen. That'll happen. And what if you don't have any information? What if you simply don't have any information with you? Well, be prepared. I learned in Boy Scouts, be prepared, right? And a piece of paper and a pen, a napkin, a piece of chalk, whatever it happens to be, and you're gonna do that. Sometimes it's simple as just like if you go to my website, docfizz.com, docfizz.com. I try and give them something that's easy to remember. And you can go on GoDaddy and you can buy a domain. You can put your name into a domain, and you can buy that for like $15, $12, $13, $15, whatever it happens to be right now. And right, there's a tool. There's a tool. And when you use three-way calls, that's really a tool as well, isn't it? So anyhow, that's what I want to talk about today. And have a great day. Get this out to people. Share it with other people. Thanks. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.